真の調和を保つ者は幾年もの先を見抜くことができるというが、全ての調和を乱し者は一寸先をも見抜くことができぬ。一歩一歩進むのだ。気を抜くでない。一寸先を感じ取り、己が選ぶべき道を知れ。息を満たし放つのだ。己が心を開け。邪念を鎮めるのだ、弘樹。侍ならば心得よ。
幾度も同じことを繰り返しております。先生、何故にこうもせねばなりませぬか。
侍とはいつまでも型を極めようとする者。さあ、邪念を鎮めよ。息を満たし止めよ。向かい合いし者の意図を汲み取るのだ。気を散らせば死を見るぞ。今一度初めからだ。
はい、先生。
手ほどきするは学ぶこと。故に今日は我が先を行こう。間合いを開けよ。しかと見よ。己が身につけし技を見せてみよ、弘樹。目を離すでない。一時たりとも相手に背を向けてはならぬ。刀を振ることしか知らぬ者の先は見えておる。守りを固めるのだ。防げ、弘樹。防ぐのだ。防げ、弘樹。相手の気力がそがれるのを待つは愚か者のすることぞ。風のように動け。さすれば刀に取らわれることはあるまい。今日はここまでだ。明日は
三十郎様、一大事でございまする。
弘樹、ここにおれ。
されど
修行を忘れるでないぞ。己が死に従うのだ、常にな。弘樹、無事でおれ。
愛子殿、我々はどういたせばよいでしょうか。
父上があれほど案ずるとは気がかりでなりません。何があったのか明らかにせねば。
されど先生は。
これはお稽古よりも大事でございます。参りましょう。
ノブ様が言うには今日の都ではよく知られた料理だそうだ。
それじゃあ天使様も召し上がっておられるということかい。
ああ、そうさ。
あんなバカ野郎の言うことは聞かねえこったね。天使さんはわしらと同じものを召し上がるわけねえだろ。
町場の方へ向かったのでは。こちらへ。
先生はいかなる時も稽古を立つことはありませんでした。何か気を悪くされたのでしょうか。
何をおっしゃいます、ひろき殿。
そうだな。
あなた様は父の自慢の弟子でございます。
お弟子様、ご支配様は門の方へ向かわれましたぞ。何年言ったらわかるんだい。これは売り物じゃねえ。
是が非でも譲ってくれ。よし、倍払う。
これはうちに伝わる家宝なんだよ。手放したらご先祖様にたたられちまう。
米引き立てだよ。
ひろき殿、愛子様へ一つ手土産でもいかがかな。
拙者は、愛子殿はその
お顔が赤くなっておられますよ。今は先を急ぎましょう。美味しそうではございましたが。
サバ、アサリ、鈴木。この老いぼれの荷車を動かすのをお手伝いいただけませぬか。三十郎様がかけてきたのに仰天してしまい、溝にはまってしまいまして。
承知いたしました。先生はどこへ向かわれたかご存知でしょうか。
かたじけのうございます。三十郎様はものすごい速さで上に上がっていかれました。門の外で何かあるようでございますな。かたじけのうございます。
何を気にかけているんだい。こんなとこじゃ何も起きねえじゃねえか。それで困ってんのさ。商売上がったりだ。なんとか切り盛りしてるってとこさ。じゃあもう一杯おくれよ。少しでも足しになるんだよ。そうこなくっちゃ。はい、毎度あり。いいね。ありがてえ太平の世に一杯。
間違いねえ。毒が森の中にいんのさ。
ああ、そうさ。あの世の入り口も湖にあるな。
いや、あいつらの寝床を見たのさ。俺 俺たちが先にやらねえと皆読み送りにされちまう。
脅かすんじゃねえよ。よそ者がカモシカ狩りでもしに来たんだろうよ。
早道がございます。通ればことになるやもしれませんが。
されどお咎めになる先生もここにはおりません。
それほど厳しい父ではありません。きっと父上もここを通ってきたはず。
ここで何をしておる、盗っ人どもが。
ひろき殿、お急ぎよ。
お許し。
また振られちまったよ、兄貴。
今度は何だってんだ。
俺はあいつに言ったんだ。おめえさんなら黄泉の国まで追いかけるって。イザナギがイザナミを追いかけたようによ。
粋なこと言うじゃね
ところがあいつはイザナギさえも女房の醜く変わり果てた姿を見て逃げ出したって言いやがった。
えか。それも間違っちゃいねえな。
そんでオイラもどうせ同じだと言うのさ。
まあうまくいかねえこともあるさ。
けどけ、足の番じゃん。
勝負事は相手よりも四半時長く待つ者が制すものじゃ。
気がついてねえよ。足りなくなることはございません。
怪我はありませんか？
いや、なんでもね。ただ口惜しいだけで。
拙者は三十郎様を見つけなければなりませぬが、戻った際に必ず手助けを。
ありがてえが、なんとかするさ。足が手を貸しますんで、ご客人の世話が済んだらすぐそっちに向かいます。ありがてえ、ありがてえ。
ひろき殿、今のは何者かの叫び声でしょうか。
いかにも先生がいらっしゃるところに違いありません。
お急ぎよ。
逃げろ。
何者かの襲撃です、ひろき殿。それがゆえに父上もあれほど急いで。
拙者から離れませぬよ。先生を見つけねば。
オラだ。槍さえ持てれば。
なんてこった、やりやがった。
ひろき殿、皆を。私は父上を見つけます。
いけません。危のうございます。
核のごとき輩など知りも及ばぬこの村のすべての小道を存じています。
どうか人目のつかぬところへ。あなた様に何かあれば先生に合わす顔がございませぬ。そして拙者は
ひろき殿、お行きくだされ。案ずることはございません。
小僧、いかにしてわしを止める気だ。
拙者は侍じゃ。
死ね死ね
ただそのクイズ野郎が。
取られた。こんなに血が出。うちの女房お願いだ、見逃してくれ。
こいつを楽にしてやれ。
この
この向こう水なもののふは誰だ。
聞け、手玉の拙者は侍じゃ。
ああ、そうかい。
先生からしかと手ほどきを受けたのだ。迎え撃つ備えはできておる。
武器を置いて逃げるんだな、小僧。
逃げはせる。これは拙者の近いし務めじゃ。
ならば黄泉へ行け、愚かなわっぱが。
首を落とせ。臆病者が。こいつの命など何の価値もねえ。
何でも持って行っておくんだって。ただその子に手をかけるのだけはご勘弁を。
この犬が。
逃げられるうちにお逃げください。あなた様は守り神様の化身か何かでございますか。かたじけない色木様。三十郎様をお探しなら先刻この前を駆け抜けて行きなされました。
誰もおらん。行くぞ。酒を飲みながら銭を。
己を買いかぶりすぎじゃ。
すでに村の多くが燃やされ、多くの命が奴らの手にかけられておる。先生がとどめてくださることを願う。拙者をお供させ。愛子殿が無事であればよいな。ああ、なんてこった。
こいつら百姓は何も持ってねえ。
塵も積もればってやつよ。小銭も集めれば大層な量になるってもんだ。
しっかり分け前をいただけるならの話だがな。
心配ね。スサノオノミコト以来の極悪人だが二言のないお方だ。
ま、酒だけはたんとある。飲め。こう逃げられんぞ。
三将いつ来てくれるんだい。
を捨てればそこの木を持ってこい。
はよせい、まだ来るぞ。
抑えろ抑えろ。そこで止まれ。
頼む頼む。手を出してない。
これは何かとされる。
あわや切り殺されるところでした。
門は放っておけ。壁を登れ。喉を
奴らが退いておる。これは先生の行いか。
社の中に何かある。逃げるなら今のうちじゃ。
ここにおとどまりを。
されど先生は。
ご師範様はわしらを守るために刀を抜かれました。手柄のために命を投げ捨ててはいけませぬ。
拙者は死を恐れませぬ。先生の助太刀をせねば。
刀か。年派もいかぬ小僧の手に我が折より幼し 我が我が父を討ち取りし時よりも。参れ、刀さばきを見せてみよう。小僧恥さらしめが。さあ、力を尽くせ。何もできぬな。やっせい。やっ何の修練も積んでおらぬ。わっぱを切ろうとは武士の風上にも置けぬ。武士の誇りなど弱く恐れる者どもの大義名分。何も知らぬ賊名、恐れをなして逃げ出すなら今ぞ。恐れの主とは我のことよ、じじい。ヒロキ、皆がお主を頼っておる。皆を守るとちぎりを交わせ。
かしこまりました。
たとえお主の命が尽き果てようとも。
承知いたしました。
よし、愛子を頼んだぞ。
先生の名を汚すようなことはしませぬ。
この妖術使いのごとし武将、まだどのようなものかわからぬ。そしていかにあのような軍勢を集めたかも明白なるは残忍で容赦なき悪であるということ。奴の手下は山から影のように密かに現れ、二つの村があったところには血と灰だけが残りました。代官所の助けは間に合いませぬ。奴が上川村を取れば川を渡り、次はこの村。
我が村よりもまず上川村の者どもを救わねばならん。
まことにその通りでございます。あの村の定めは我が村の定めも同じ。上川村の方たちにすぐに知らせ、我が村へ迎え入れましょう。その上で橋を落とし、奴らが川を渡れぬように。もし我らが
戦議の中失礼いたします。されど何者かが門にて助けを求めておりまする。
入れてやれ。
鬼じゃ、奴らは鬼じゃ。
いずこのお方か。何者にやられたのです。教えてくだされ。
亡者の目をした者たちがいずこからか急に現れ、奴らの大将はただただ見届けておった。奴らが、わしは上川村の者だ。何人かで林の中に逃げたが、鬼どもが追ってきよった。わしの家の者は。
お悔やみ申します。誰か茶と米をこのお方に。
今すぐに奴らを撃たねば、あの村の定めは我が村の定め。
お行きくだされ。敵は姿を現しました。私は守りに備えます。ご武運をお祈りいたします、あなた様。
先生の名を汚すようなことはしませぬ。
上川村の者どもでございます。
では奴の手下どもはすでに川を渡っておる。一刻の猶予もないぞ。森光殿、いざ参る。
己をかぶりすぎじゃ。
生きておろうが死んでおろうが、拙者は上川村にたどり着かねばならぬ。橋は落とされた。ならば倒れろ、倒れろ。志と指導は山をも動かす。
川の見張りなど取るに足りん。わしらも襲撃に加わるべきじゃ。
まあいいじゃねえか。こんな楽な役目もねえさ。
川岸でぼーっとしてても親方に何の手柄も見せられやしねえ。
嫌いな。
己の仲間どもは黄泉へ行った。己も死を望むのか。
お前はわしの稲妻のごとき刃をかわせぬであろ
ならば見せてみよ
う。命乞いするなら
最後じゃ弱者のドキかぶりが物の買いかぶりすぎじゃ。そろそろしまいだ。もうすぐ来るぞ。早くしろ。精一杯やっておる。死ね
橋は落とされておる。されど古い金堀のマブを通って次まで参ろうぞ。
戦だと聞いておったのに。
雨の中ババアどもを切ることは戦ではない。ここを見張ることこそ肝心じゃ。
つま
もう案ずることはない。
かたじけない若いお方。
もし拙者の同志を見てはおらぬか。
いいえ、されど捕らえた者どもを上川村へ連れて行くとこの鬼どもが話しておるのを耳にしました。
ならば拙者はそこへ向かおう。どうかご無事で。
ひどい雨で立ってたら病に倒れちまうぜ。酒に飲まれることへの罰はさらに重いぞ。
叩きゃいい。
どこで止まる。 この先は誰も通さん。
拙者を通せ。ならず者。
通さん。逃げるなら今のうちじゃ。
女をすぐさま離せ。
奴らは鬼じゃ。
そいつが何のことご慈悲を。あっしはこの男を知られ。
お前はここでしないじゃ。
情け容赦ないしかし。
雷神様の怒りのようじ。よくも兄貴をやりやがったな、クソ野郎。死ね。何もかも取られた。何もかも。賊だ。
けよう。うちの中に奴がおるんじゃ。
2問3問これだけか。頭あ
すでに切った。他の奴らが来る前にここから去るのじゃ。
かたじけねえ、かたじけね
手の違いが今のうちじゃ。あいつらまだいるのか。
臆病者が貫く真の像がもう一つあったか。
止めようとしたんじゃ。されど
措置はなせることを全て果たしたのだ。他に拙者のようなものを見ておらぬか。
集い場でどうぞお気をつけて。
かたじけない。気を抜くでない。気を抜くでない。
己を買いかぶりすぎじゃ。ほらい負け犬が。
生きよった。
なんでみんな殺しちまわねえんだ。
佐渡為様は
なんでみんな殺しちまわねえんだ。
佐渡為様はまずもてあそぶのがお好きなのはおめえもよく知ってるだろう。
いや、それだけじゃねえ。何かあるに違いねえ。
そうさ、もっとでけえものがかかってる。それを忘れんな。
死ねえ。
集い場じゃ。森光殿や他の者が生きておるならあそこにおるはずじゃ。
やっと現れおったが、皆待っておったぞ。
己が大将か、もしくはただの手下に過ぎぬか。
我が君の名のもとに命を殺めることは誉れ高きこと。お前の次は一家親しき者ども皆殺しだ。なぜあがく。お前はもう何人も救うことはできぬ。
己をここで討ち取れば案ずることはない。
お前はもう
己のような輩には情け無用。
わしにとどめを刺すことよりも案ずべき大事があろう。
何が言いたいのじゃ。
お前がこうしておるうちに我が君はすでにお前の村に入っておる。お前が慕う者ども今や守ることもできまい。
父上は黄泉への戸に疲れました。村は導く者を求めています。
愛子殿がなるべきです。愛子殿は強く村人も敬っております。
天涯孤独となってしまいましたが、皆のために誠心誠意努める覚悟でございます。
お一人ではありませぬ。先生にお誓いしたように 私があなた様をお守りするとお誓い申し上げます。
守っていただくよりもただそばにいてくだされ。それが私の願いでございます。
かしこまりました。
信殿、大事ござらぬか。
我らは
たちはどこに
何もかもかけて挑んだが
数はいかほど。
100は優に超える。
我々は計られたのじゃ。
拙者は手遅れじゃ。まだ助かる者に手を貸してやってくれ。
愛子は無事でござるか。
許しを。
愛子殿を見た者はおらぬか。
そう遠くまでは行けまい。
おい、一人も生かしておいてはいけん。分かっておるな。
使用兵士を来ておる。
やっときにしまえ。
道場はもぬけの殻だ。
侍は皆上川村へ向かった。
わしらの計った通り、
奴らが戻ったならば、
帰り七には無しかないのう。
静かに動きなされ。奴らはこの先で待ち構えております。
承知いたした。そなたは誠に無事か。
わしは見つかりません。されどあなた様もお隠れになった方が。こいつらはただの賊ではございませぬ。
拙者は前へ進まねばならぬ。何があろうとも。
腰をねさきやがる。
しまえ。救い合いの愚か者だ。誰かいんのか。
生き残りだ。やれ。囲め。
足が誰か助けてくれ。
わっぱみたいにわめくんじゃねえ。
おい助けてくれ。助けてくれ頼む。屋根が落ちてきて足を砕かれた。
慈悲も与えぬ非道の輩が今それを請うのか。
面目ねえ。わしはただ言いつけ通りにしただけだ。
では身を切るたびに涙を流しておったのか。
頼む五章だ。戻ってきやがれ。
100軒先からでも暗図を射止める。お主の頭など造作なきこと。はよ行け侍。お主の誇りなど何の役にも立たぬ。
逃げるなら今のうち。足が誰か助けてくれ。おい助けてくれ。助けてくれ頼む。畜生戻ってきやがれ。先はだぞ。馬もですかい。
犬猫でも生かしておくなというお言いつけだ。
もったいねえな。わしらが連れてくってのはいかがですかい。
さが気づかれちまうさ。さっさとやっちまえ。
そうですかい。わしにやれるかの。
馬に食わせる飯もねえんだ。もたもたしてんじゃねえ。
先へ行かねばならぬ。さも矢で撃たれてしまう。恐れなどに屈せぬ。
この辺りに違いない。止めろ。目を狙え。手を止めろ。
たとえ死と隣り合わせであろうと。
己が買いかぶりすぎじゃ。犬が
先へ行かねばならない。さもなくば矢で撃たれてしまう。
早く、もっと早くやめてくれ。
恐れなどに屈せぬ。
この辺りに違いない。止めろ、目を狙え。
たとえ死と隣り合わせであろうと。
もう一歩見送りにせ。野郎は一匹だけだ。
まさき
幾日か骨休めして
若くして
出陣だ。
何故とどまる。早く攻めねえとお上の軍勢が押し寄せてきちまう。
疲れ果てた兵は親分の役に立たねえ。
臆病者、今すぐ隣の村を攻め落とさねえと。仕留めろ。
己を買いかぶりすぎだ。
ほらみんな取られた。
次、臆病者が。よくも兄貴をやりやがったな、クソ野郎。
静かに教え、あんたたち。まだあいつらはいるよ。あっちへ行きな。あんたら鬼は取れるものは全部取っただろう。
おっか、誰だ。
目をつぶってな。
待たれよ。拙者をご存じないのか。
おめえが誰だろうと知ったこっちゃねえ。どっか言っとくれ。
さようでござるか。どうかご無事で。
お兄ちゃん、奴らはお兄ちゃん。
死ね死ね死ね。
拙者が勝ち戦を欲したために、この卑怯者どもは抗う者にも出くわさずやすやすと。
命だけは
わしを超えていくことはできる。
お前の仲間は同じように己を信じておったが、一人残らず死んだ。
わしを見てみろ。この槍を見よう。近寄ることもできぬわ。役立たずのクズ野郎が。喉をかっきれ。逃げんなら今のうちじゃ。
斎藤殿、お許しを。奴らの計りごとにまんまとはまり、肝心な時に居合わすことができず。
弘樹殿、おやめなされ。先には死が待つのみじゃ。
ならば死と出会うまで。これは単なる襲撃ではない。恐れゆえのさらなる恐れを煽るがための所業。
遅い侍、遅すぎだ。腹を叩いてやれ。
この鬼どもは愛子に何を。おびただしい死じゃ。馴染みの顔ばかりじゃ。皆よく存じておる。
まだ息のあるやつがおる。武器を持っておる。
おびただしい死じゃ。馴染みの顔ばかりじゃ。皆よく存じておる。
まだ息のあるやつがおる。武器を持っておる。
どうかな。悪い気しかしねえ。
おめえはいつもそう言うが、どうせまたやっちまうじゃねえか。
刻んでるぞ。切り刻んでやる。
今のうちじゃ。
仕留めろ。切り裂け。そこで止まれ。
妙なしないアグリが。今だ。俺を買いかぶりすぎじゃ。
猪木殿、生きておられたか。
愛子殿はいずこに。
道場に。だが言ってはならねえ。この通りだ。
たとえ何人束になろうと拙者を止めることはできぬ。 ようなことが。
会うたことがあるの。
この手でその傷を負わせ、己が言い鍛えたのを見届けたはずじゃ。
この村は我を墓に留め置きたくないようだの。あの女が最後まで呼んでおったのはお前の中。我がその苦しみを終わらせてやるまでな。調和を乱したお前など取るに足らぬ。
Походу тут начинаются секеры.
戯れはもうよい。黄泉へ行け。
愛子。
案ずることはご
Все, настоящая концовка. Так. Так.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
О, перевели.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oops.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
А, здесь ничего нет. Блин.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Тyle co do mnie?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Улетит.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Кататься в лифте нельзя.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle. Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Пока неплохо. Ну ладно.
another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Hmm?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it. Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Нет.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Что-то были прочухи.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Был görüntü.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Evet. İyi.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Нужна кнопка skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of depravity. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about... But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, enter. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437. Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
¿Desde qué punto?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,